Hey there, everybody. I'm Janine Ellsworth, human design consultant and parenting coach, and I'm very glad to have you along with me today because I'm going to do a reading, a human design reading of someone who is in the public eye hugely right now and who has electrified the world. Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey, who gave a historic, landmark, record-breaking, absolutely electrifying um, showcase, I'll say, presentation speech that lasted for over 25 hours yesterday, ending last night around 8 p.m., and beginning the evening before at about 7 p.m. So this is right now, this is April 2nd, 2025, for anybody who's watching this in the future. And you will note that, at least from where I stand, it was an absolutely breathtaking show of courage. It was a show of almost superhumanness. Um, I was texting with my family members and friends throughout the day saying, "Oh my God, he's still going, he's still going." And we all had the same questions like, how does he pee? When does he eat? Like, how did he do this? Is someone feeding him, whatever intoxicating substances to make it through. No, I don't think so. And I did catch some post speech interviews, which I can't even believe that he had the stamina and the bandwidth to get off the Senate floor and then go and actually speak to reporters. I would have collapsed at the second hour, probably. So anyway, I am um, so fueled by the fact that here is a person taking extraordinary measures to create a sense of unity. I know that this really emboldened the left here in our country at a time when things feel so uncertain and that people have been clawing at our leadership to say, please do something, do something. And so here this man steps forward to do something extraordinary. And I think it really is a moment of unity that we can all continue to celebrate. But I know a lot of you aren't here for the politics, you're here for the human design. And so I wanted to share what I know about Senator Booker before having this all having come to light. I will say I knew that he was a human design manifesting generator, but I really didn't pay a lot of attention to the remaining, the other really rich details of his human design chart that make him so unique until this all kind of came to the surface. Now, I have routinely had his face or his name associated with the list of famous manifesting generators that I always refer to when I'm doing a presentation of a foundational introduction for folks about the five energy types in human design. He is always someone that I refer to as a great example of a human design manifesting generator. And I'll tell you why in a second as I get into his reading, but as a to give you a little bit of a heads up on who else is sharing company in that space, we have Beyonce, we have Tony Robbins, we have Angelina Jolie, we also have Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and JD Vance, all manifesting generators. We also have the musical artist Andrew Bird, um, and Martin Luther King Jr. I want to give you that sort of spread to illustrate for you that the manifesting generator is someone who is almost superhuman. Really, people who have extraordinary power and an intense amount of energy for getting stuff done, for doing a lot of big things. They're initiators, they're here to make an impact, they are here to do a lot of things, multi-passionate, we call them, and multi-taskers. They are above all people who want to, believe it or not, eliminate inefficiencies, really. They are the step skippers. They are the people who want to skip steps, make things go faster, get through it. Come on, hurry up already. I have a lot of manifesting generators in my life personally, so I know these people like the back of my hand. I'm married to one. They can often be the bull in the china shop. They are here to move fast and break things. So it really encapsulates what we think of in American culture anyway in the startup industry, where you wear all the hats, you're moving fast, you're doing all the things. You they have a tendency to feel very impatient. They get frustrated with other people who aren't as quick on the uptake as everybody as they are. So they can get very irritable when their time is being wasted. So my husband coined this phrase, and I use it all the time now to apply to manifesting generators. And you guys tell me, because I'm not one. I'm only part of that. I'm a manifester. But so the phrase is, if you're not multitasking, you're wasting your time. And there's nothing that quite irritates an MG, I like to call you guys, more than having your time wasted. So you'll see that sort of theme burble up with, like when I say Andrew Bird, he's somebody who is like so good at all of the instruments and the singing and the songwriting that he's just like, fuck it, I don't need a band. I'll just do all this myself. That's kind of the quintessential MG. It's just like, ah, I don't want to wait for everybody else. I can bang this out faster and get it done quicker. When we're talking about a child, because I do consulting and coaching for parents. And so if you have a child who you've looked up their chart and it says manifesting generator, keep these kinds of things in mind. These kids are moving a lot. They're very physical creatures. They want action, they want activity, and they want to up the ante. They want more responsibility and sovereignty and independence, and they want to do it faster. These are not the kids who necessarily have the patience to sit and show their work on every step of, the long division problem, that they have to show their work in math class. How did you get the answer? The MG is like, dude, I just know it. Like, why do you care how I got there? I did it faster, and you should be patting me on the back. These are the kids who will sign up for, some kind of camp, pottery camp or whatever. You sign them up for karate or something, and they come out of the first class going, "Well, I knew more than the instructor. Why did you waste my time? That was dumb. I could teach that class." So these are oftentimes self-taught people who just figure it out faster than everybody else. Uh, so there can be some ego involved, and that's okay, right? But those are the kinds of things that we're dealing with when we talk about the manifesting generator. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you Senator Booker's chart with um, all of the respect in the world. And I didn't call his office and get permission to do his reading. I will say I got his birth information off of astrochart.com. Someone else out there, and I'm sure other human design readers have already done this. Um, done a reading about him, but this is a risk I'm willing to take because I just absolutely adore what he's been able to achieve and accomplish and what he's doing. So I hope that the senator doesn't mind me doing a public analysis of him. I think everybody is analyzing him today. So I'd you know I just I want to express that Senator Booker is showcasing the best and brightest and the magic and the wonder and the radiance that is the manifesting generator, okay? Because you know where I stand when I see other people who are of this same type who are not living up to their potential. What a heartbreak that is. What a waste. But when I see someone like the senator stepping into the fullest highest expression of the energies that came in his body when he emerged from his mother's womb into the atmosphere that we call Earth's oxygen and I'm getting weird now. Um, but when he came into this world and he carried these energetic traits and how you use these, I see him as showing the high vibration of each and every one of them. And if you've been around me before or even following my work, you will know that I'm always driving home the idea, and this is kind of controversial in the spirituality kind of space because We're not supposed to say that there's like good or bad. We're not supposed to, show judgment, but I really want this to be actionable and accessible to all people, whether you're in the human design space or the spiritual space or not. And the truth of the matter is, the way I see it and the way I teach and the way I guide my clients is like there is a high vibe way of using each and every one of these energies. And then a polar opposite. There is a very low frequency way that we can slip into each of our energies. And when I'm talking about energies like this feels very lofty, but I'll tell you each of those numbers, shapes, charts, lines, all the symbols, they all represent a personality trait. They're all different, okay? This is all of the human experience, and we each come to Earth with a mixed bag. And this is Senator Booker's, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and give you the overview. I told you a little bit about the manifesting generator. So these are people who are deeply inspired to start something new and exciting and get their hands into something different uh, when they respond to their environment. They can be profoundly creative and transformative and innovative. And they also have, so like when we hear manifesting generator, this is not necessarily a hybrid of the manifester and the generator types. When you fuse some of these traits with these traits, you get a whole unique being, and that's what we get with the manifesting generator. So the main traits you're going to see here, what makes them part generator is that they have this square dead center. This is called your sacral, and that is always going to be defined. And then they also have the throat defined. And that throat, not only is it colored in, that's what we say when it's colored in, it's defined, meaning it's active, it's constantly broadcasting from within, whichever energy is associated with it. So throat energy is communication, speaking energy. And then the sacral defined is life force, it's vitality, always broadcasting with these beings. But one thing you'll notice that's unique is, and I'm sorry, my captions are kind of covering up the root center here. But I don't know if you could see my little hand pointing, there's four shapes on the bottom right here: sacral, root, emotional solar plexus, that's the triangle on the right, and then this little triangle here is the heart center. All four of those are what we call motors in human design, and you don't have to remember this, but what makes a person a manifesting generator is sacral defined, throat defined, and one of these motors is going to be linked up to that throat, driving power into the throat center, causing the manifesting generator to be someone who is here to speak into existence, to bring into reality something new. And they have the life force and the vitality and the creativity and the doing power, the productivity power to bring it into being all by themselves. Now, where I am a manifester, this is what's contrasted, is that I have a motor connected to my throat, defined. However, I will never have, um, unless the planets align and I get a flavor for it for a day or two, I do not naturally have the sacral center defined. So manifestors and projectors and reflectors, we don't have this sacral lit up. It's only generators, manifesting generators. You guys have the life force that is regenerative. The more you do the work that lights you up, the more energy you get. You have a kid with a sacral center defined, and they like to do cartwheels. That child will do cartwheels for hours until they drop, if they're allowed to. If you're giving them the choice of something joyful, their body is always going to resonate toward the joyful thing. So it is with Senator Booker. But also with this flair from the manifester side, which is acting based on inspiration, fueled with this like almost manic, uh, like you can't let it go, creativity, this urge that's coming through you to make something, to do something new, to start something new. The manifesting generator, though, with that, both that life force and that inspiration, it's a huge ton of power. It's huge. Think about it. I just mentioned Elon Musk, Tony Robbins, um, Beyonce, Andrew Bird. These are people who make themselves known and they do lots of things. They're very transformational and they're unforgettable. And so there is an aspect here of these people being larger than life. Uh, but let's pick back some of these layers because what the senator is capable of is just extraordinary. I keep using that word, and I know it's like etched into my memory because I know Kamala's been saying that word a lot. Extraordinary, extraordinary. So I don't know. I guess I picked that up from her. Okay. Now he's got five of his energy centers defined. We already talked about the throat being the area of communication and expression. And we talked about the sacral center. Can I make that bigger? Yeah, the sacral is that square, and that's life force and vitality. And he's got five different gates. Those are the numbers. The gates are the really, really fine granular personality traits. He's also got the emotional solar plexus defined with a couple of gates lit up in there. He's got a full channel connecting emotions to this life force. And I could talk about what these are, but I'm not going to get into a ton of detail today because my kids are going to be home from school soon. He's also got his heart center or the ego defined. This is where we get our sense of willpower, how we know what matters. This is how we identify and determine what's valuable for us. It's about having a sense of self-worth. Sometimes some of the I'm just noticing he's got the two full channels coming out of his heart center, one leading to the G, which I'll talk about in a second, and one leading up to the heart, to the throat. This is oftentimes the heart center is what says, I need to be first. I matter here. And it can sometimes come off as making people, especially children, seem arrogant or self-centered, selfish, egotistical. But it's like a prioritization of like, I know I matter in this world. And if I take care of me, then I can take better care of everybody around me. Because the heart center is very much a tribal centered energy theme. It wants to nourish and support and care for the ones it loves. And so oftentimes it'll be like, I'll jump in front of the moving vehicle, to stop or whatever, to protect. It can be very courageous and brave in that way. But it also sort of like seems like you're putting yourself before everyone else, but you're kind of doing it to to be of service. If you're using that energy in the right way, that is. So when you think about the senator taking the floor and saying, of all the 200, I'm sorry, of all of the 49 or whatever, 48 Democratic senators to have done that last night or at all. Like none of them were doing it. And he is kind of raising his hand and saying, I'll do it. I can lead the way. Right? And he's got this extraordinary amount of life force and vitality. And he has the motorized throat center to do that, speaking for so long, even with those breaks. But to have the stamina to stand up there for 25 hours, it's just absolutely gobsmacking. There's more to his ability to have done that physically, physiologically too, here that I can talk about. Um, Okay, the G center is defined in him. This is the thing in us that is, it says, I know who I am and I know where I'm going. I know the path I'm on. I love myself, right? This is hard for a lot of people because I can't remember the breakdown, the stats, but I believe it is a higher concentration of people who have this center undefined. Okay, so This in Cory Booker is broadcasting his sense of self, his identity, his I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm doing is broadcasting from within him at all times. For those of us who have this undefined, it can feel very destabilizing. We can always be questioning, who am I? I'm not really sure. Who should I be in this moment? Ooh, what's it going to be like at that place? Who do I have to show up as? We can be kind of chameleons. We can just be more flexible, but also question ourselves more there. Anytime we have these undefined centers, that's how we operate. Is a little bit with less stability there, a little bit more self-questioning. We often say in human design that the defined centers, the colored in ones, are where we sometimes feel like or can be accused of being too much by other people. Say, oh, you're just too much. Your motorized throat, you're just too talking too much. You're saying too much. You're too sassy. Or your heart is defined. Oh, you're always the center of it. You have to be the center of attention, don't you? Or your emotions, this triangle down here, your emotional center is defined. Oh, you are so dramatic. You are always tearing up and making a fit over everything. Oh, you're too much, right? Or your sacral is defined. Oh, you're moving around too much. You are too active. You just can't sit still, can you? Right? Um, and this G center can be like, oh, do you think you're all that? You're so weird. Why do you have to always do your own thing? Oh, you're just marching to your own beat, aren't you? That's just different. Why do you always have to be different? Because there's a real sense of individuality here and a boldness about showcasing who you really are. Okay, so those are the areas that he's really, and I didn't really talk about the emotions so much. The emotions for the person who has this defined, such as the senator does, the emotions operate on a cycle, a regular wave. For those of us, 50% of the population has this defined. The other 50% do not. Those people have emotions, okay? I don't want to lead anyone astray there and to say that you don't have emotions. You do. They just don't necessarily operate on this high peak and trough kind of cycle where for the person who does have this defined, you get a emotional roller coaster. You feel totally exuberant about something one day, and that very same topic the next morning you might feel absolute dread about. Say you're invited to a party and it's 3 weeks away. And you get that invitation and you're like, ee, that's going to be amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I totally miss people and I want to hang out and it's going to be great. I'm in the mood for a party. It'll be great. And, oh, I love that place. And I bet so and so is going to go. And, ooh, what am I going to wear? And you get all excited, right? But maybe 2 days later, you're thinking to yourself, ugh, that sounds like the worst idea ever. Like, I totally have no interest. And, ugh, that someone so and so is probably going to be there. And ugh, I don't have anything to wear. And, oh, God, how much are the tickets? And, well, I'll have to drive. It's like, what time does it start? That sucks, right? You can go through this, like, it's a total up and down. But eventually, if you learn to use your emotional solar plexus energy in the proper way that it's meant to, you know to wait. You know to wait through that up and down, up and down, up and down, because eventually you come to a place of like, meh, all right, I could do that. Or, no, I'm just not going to do that. It's like a totally neutral, non-emotionally charged sensation in your body where you're like, Hmm. Yeah, I'm real certain, 99% certain. Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. It's a no. It's a no. I have great stories about how I have finally mastered the art. I wouldn't say mastered, but I'm still working on it. But it's because it's a practice every single day. You're experimenting with your human design. But I finally have been really getting the hang of how to use this is called your decision-making authority for the senator. That's how his decision making is built to work, is to filter through his emotions first. Let yourself, Senator, when you have a big life decision, go through the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs until you get to that serene in between. So that's how he is built there. I'll do a reading on someone else who is not who does not have the decision-making authority of emotions another time. Let's talk about now where he's got this flexibility or this inconsistency where he's not broadcasting this kind of energy. Um, in the root center, which is stress, it is the pulse that jumps you into, it's like jumper cables. It like gets you going and says, "Whoo, now I gotta act." When this is undefined or left white or blank, the way that we see it, well, he has one gate or trait illuminated there, the 19, which is a big one for him. When it's defined, that someone has this like pulse that strikes and it launches them, get up off the couch, the deadline's coming, you gotta go. The bus is coming, you're gonna be late, you gotta go. But the person that has this left white, undefined, is kind of constantly under pressure of feeling like there's always a flame being lit under their butt. And it's like, when do I get to sit down? I never get the chance to sit down. My to-do list is constantly growing. How do I ever get to be enjoy any time on the couch when there's all of this to do? And so there's just a constant pressure that is causing this person to almost never be able to relax. And if they don't know how to use it, if you don't know that this is the way that it operates, because all of these blank shapes are absorbing other people's junk, energy, and potentially amplifying it outward. So if Senator Booker is in the presence of other colleagues or family members who are broadcasting their stress about like, oof, yeah, I should probably get some stuff done. I got a to-do list, or I have this deadline coming, I have a project to work on. They're broadcasting their stress without trying to. And the senator is absorbing it and then potentially amplifying it. And so for him, he's going to experience pressure to get stuff done constantly. He can, just like any of us, build a healthy boundary around energetically and, in your mindset, build a boundary around this willingness to take on other people's stress. This you can become aware of and tune into when you're feeling that stress in your body to sort of say, okay, hold on. This feels destabilizing for me. This feels like I notice my cortisol getting up, or I notice my like feeling panicky. Maybe I can stop and take a deep breath and look around and say, who could I be picking this up from? What's going on here? Why don't I feel like I can sit down and relax? What actually do I have to do today that can't be done, after I get a nap, or after I go for a walk for myself, or get some fresh air, or have a little meditation or something? So, of course, I don't know how the senator operates in his own private life, but I know that he's probably very aligned. But it also makes a lot of sense that he has the stamina that he does to not let his butt sit down for 25 hours, because he is literally absorbing and then amplifying the stress of all of his colleagues around him in that Senate chamber. So that actually this it would be interesting to know whether he knows this about himself and he could like leverage his human design to work for him, where he could say like, yeah, I'm gonna be like an energy vampire. I'm gonna take all y'all stress and I'm gonna have it help boost me, right? That would be pretty cool. Like you can do that, you can tell yourself like this is how it's gonna work today. Okay. The other centers that he has left undefined, and therefore inconsistent and open to absorbing other people's stuff, is the splenic center. And that one is all about intuition. It's about health and safety. It's about awareness of your environment, about threats. It's about survival. It's very much a early evolutionary kind of oh look, Cory Booker is texting me now. um, it's about like our primal instincts. Okay, so it's animalistic almost. It's awareness of your gut instincts. So it's the deer in the woods that hears the hunter way off in the distance and they just know to take off, right? As they just caught some instinct said, I'm in danger, makes you take off. Now, that's more often how it works with the person who has the spleen defined. When it's not defined, this gets fuzzy. Boundaries can get crossed. They can walk right into danger. They can absorb the illnesses, the actual toxicities of environments around them, the room around them, or the people around them, and internalize it, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm so sick. I have this horrible headache," or "Oh, I'm getting, um, chronic fatigue or whatever," because they're actually around people who are holding so much toxic energy, and they're the ones broadcasting it. Um, Sorry, my kids are texting me. Hold on. Okay. Soccer is canceled for the day because soccer games are canceled because it was hailing while I was walking my dog. I got hailed on and my poor little dog was getting beaten in the head and in the back with these freaking hail balls. So okay, we survived that, but the kids are on their way home. Okay. With the spleen undefined, and if you don't know this about yourself, you can be really good at picking up on other people's, like these are the people who like you call your friend because you're like, are you okay? Because I just thought about you and I just had a bad feeling that you might be struggling, right? And then of course your friend is like, oh my God, how did you know? I'm laying in bed sick, or I had a car accident last night and I totally meant to call you, but. So this is really highly intuitive and empathic. Really, these are like classic medical empaths. If you're aware of that. Otherwise, if you're just always getting sick all the time, or you're always filled with fear, or you're always walking into danger, it's like you're not quite recognizing that you're actually picking up on other people's what other people are broadcasting as far as their fears and their stresses. Or you may not even realize that other people are dangerous because you're thinking yourself that this is all internal to you. So again, you can build a healthy boundary around what you're willing to take on and say, suddenly I'm feeling queasy, or suddenly I'm feeling a headache coming on, or suddenly I'm feeling um, really filled with anxiety. Is this really me? And look around and say, maybe I need to step away out of this room. Maybe this room is not a healthy place for me to be. It's not me, it's this environment. Um, Sorry, my kid's trying to call me. And I want to wrap this up. The other areas that he has undefined are the head, the crown center, and the ajna. Um, I'll call you in a sec. Okay. Um, the head center of the top triangle is where we entertain uh, our imagination, our sense of wonder and awe and inspiration. And with people who have, and it's also pressure, it's a different kind of pressure than the root center, which is the stress to get stuff done. But the head center is like this pressure for that you need to know something. Oh, I gotta know this, I gotta find out, I gotta get to the truth. uh, it has you asking little big questions, big lofty questions, philosophical things, metaphysical things, like, God, I want to understand the mysteries of the universe type of questions. With this area undefined, totally open, wide open, that means the senator is wide open to ideas, to people's big questions. He's like, I'm not really sure what's important right now. I don't really know what I need to know. I will be open to hearing all kinds of different theories. Maybe there's aliens. Maybe there's religion. Maybe there's a God. Maybe there's angels. Maybe the philosophers are all correct. I don't really know. So the pressure to know is not as continuous, nor as uh, I don't want to use the word pressurizing, but it's not as stressful as it is for the people as it is for the people who have the head center defined. If that head center defined, it's like you're always under tons of pressure and you're asking questions and it drives you bananas if you can't figure something out. But with that open, you're kind of like okay with not knowing. You're okay with not even knowing the right questions to ask and being open to um, allowing inspiration to strike when it strikes. And which is really interesting because I know that the senator last night during his not filibuster he had a lot of planned material and articles to read and stuff, but I think he was only planning, I heard today that he was only planning to shoot for like maybe 15 hours and see if he could do it. But then he just kept going and he had to like fill 10 more hours with content and topics to talk about. And I know he was repeating himself a lot, and I can't believe it. Like he was at moments, I thought he was starting to get a little unhinged, but for the most part, he was entirely coherent, and he got emotional. You could see that emotional center coming through. But I think also, again, with being open to suggestions almost with that open head center, you could be a little gullible, maybe. You could be just let the ideas pop in from any old place, and I'll think about that now. We can be at risk of thinking about things that don't matter. But in a situation where he had to sort of fill time with whatever rambling nonsense, he really, really was able to do that quite well with that open head center because hey, whatever popped in, just let it out. I thought that was really interesting. Likewise with the mind or the ajna and this second from the top down triangle that's upside down. This one's more about what we associate with like left brain stuff, computation and analysis, reason, answers. Where the head center is asking big questions, the mind is coming up with the answers. It's giving you evidence and proof and deriving a belief system. It's coming to a consensus or an opinion. It's really looking for the facts and the evidence. And so it's a little more analytical and logical in that way. Again, with the senator wide open. So he's not wedded to any one particular way of solving a problem. He's open to lots of different methods of analysis. He could attack one he could see the opinions from different angles. Uh, there's, oh, well, I can understand why you would believe this. Did you know other people also believe this? I can see both sides. So there's a little more flexibility there because the people who then have the mind center defined are typically we see, and there are certainly outliers here, but typically they're the people that we see who have a really staunch belief in something that is unwavering. They're not going to change their mind, essentially. Now, with that mind center being undefined, and as I said before, these are the areas that we can think, well, I didn't say this. I actually didn't say this. All of the undefined centers by contrast, these are the areas we think where we're not enough. So if the defined, colored in shapes are the energies that we think, and we've been accused of being too much in our lifetimes when we were kids or whenever else. The undefined centers are often where we feel we're just not enough. And so with the undefined head and ajna, these are places where we can think like, I don't know the answers. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Um, I don't know how to solve this problem. Don't ask me. I don't think the right way, or, oh, I don't believe in anything. I don't know. really self-doubt inducing. Unless you're taught that you're built this way on purpose and that you're absolutely brilliantly created, because we need people in the world who are open-minded and can see from different angles and who can ask any old question and be open to different answers and have let inspiration fuel you and engage with possibilities and not just see things from one particular vantage point. So while again, I do not know the man personally, I think all of this is really showing in what he does. Incidentally, I read in another article today that in 2012, Senator Booker, when he was the mayor of Newark, I can't remember. Anyway, earlier in his career, he saved a woman from a burning building. His neighbor's apartment building was burning down, and he ran into it and grabbed a lady out of her bed to prevent her from burning to death. She was asleep or something, and he freaking saved her. Like he didn't think about it. He used this superhuman ability to just like notice and launch into action to go save this woman's life. Now, that brings me to I want to do a quick summation of what we call the incarnation cross, and that is combined the left side and the right side, the top two boxes have these traits inside of them, and they work together to create a certain vibration, and it gives us our life purpose. Okay, his is called, when you put these four together, it's called the left angle cross of alignment. And these are people who are here with collective memory of the hardship and the difficulties of the past to apply and remember that pain to making things better for other people, to applying memories of the past to take better care of one another this time around. The alignment comes from aligning yourself with the people around you, your tribe or your community or your close family, your network, and supporting them in any way you can. Really, really concerned about the well-being of your group. It is deeply connected to this intuition, this gut knowing of who needs what and when to take action, when to run into that burning building. Someone's in pain. I know this before. I know that there have been instances in the past where people have suffered, and if I can stop it, I can run in and take care of this. Where there's so much of this that really is shining through right now when I think about this man running into a burning building, and when I think about the man that stood on the Senate floor for 25 hours. So we have the unconscious sun gate is the gate of wanting, or approach, they call it. It's like, I'm gonna walk up and have the courage to like walk up to the leader of the group and say like, can I belong? I really want to be a part of this. I really want to take part in something that means something. I want to be here and I want to belong. And it's super sensitive. This makes a person really, really highly sensitive. Like I'm talking, if you have a child with this, it's like the kids that can't abide the tag in the shirt kind of thing. 33 is the gate of, and this is the unconscious earth sign. Okay. This is the gate of privacy or retreat. And these are people, this is where that collective memory comes in. These are people who remember and take in the pain and suffering of the world. And they hold this historic record of suffering from the past. And they need tons of time of retreat and isolation and contemplation to be able to make sense of the past and extract the most useful lessons, the most valuable lessons. And it's like they don't have the will or the energy to share those, to come out and share those. Now, 33 is in the throat center. They're going to process that pain and suffering and those stories to one day come out and tell, express, and share the wisdom vocally, verbally, pass those stories down to the next generation. We cannot abide this suffering anymore. This is where it ends. And that's exactly what I heard from the senator on the floor last night. His conscious son, and this is the biggest part of the top two boxes, the conscious and the unconscious. Unconscious is on the blue left side, the conscious son is on the right. That's the outward personality. This is what's these two together make up 70% of who we be in the world, what we're here to be and share. 27 is the gate of caring. It's nourishment for your people. It's also nicknamed the Mother Teresa gate. It is this energy, especially with that point 6 afterwards. It's like, yo, I'm going to give you the tools and resources and the lessons that you need to take good care of yourselves. I am going to facilitate your independence, your ability to be self-sovereign. I'm not going to wipe your butt for you for the rest of your life. I'm not doing your laundry all the way through your college years. I'm going to teach you how to do it yourself. Okay? That's the energy of like, let me show you how to care for yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not telling you that I'm the be all end all and the best way that I know the best way forward, but I am going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate good care for others. Um, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy to have. And then his grounding energy, his conscious earth gate is 28.6. 28 is the game player. 28 is like, I know when to put my game face on. Life is like a video game, kind of you wouldn't do it if it weren't or you pick the hard way on purpose. Like life has to be interesting, and for things to be interesting, it has to be a little bit difficult. And so the 28 makes you real willing to take on a challenge and to take the hard road that other people are maybe not willing to do or not as courageous to do, or they might not have the patience for. While the manifesting generator certainly doesn't want to have to slow down, the game player is like, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Bring me your toughest challenge. I'm gonna take it on. I got you. What so that is very grounding for him to step up to the plate and take on the challenge. Got it? You feel me? Um, okay. He also has, let me see, one, two, three, four connected channels, which are all tremendously powerful. And when I say channels, I mean the lines that connect 41 to 20. Sorry, 4521 is the channel of the money line. 25 to 51 is the channel of initiation. I'm not going to go into all these because I think I've gone on long enough. I wanted to just give you like an overview of this tremendous man who is living his full power. He also has the 1-8, which is the channel of oh, I want to not say the wrong word. You guys, I these all have different names. And I am not going to say the wrong word, but it is comprised of gate 1 is the gate of creative self-expression, and gate 8 is the gate of contribution. The two of these together make an extraordinary, amazing energy of someone who is here to leave their legacy by doing something good, making a contribution to the world. And the best way that they do that is being being courageous enough to be their weird self. Fly your freak flag, stand on a stage for 25 hours and speak your truth. It literally makes me tear up. Like that is the 1-8 at the highest expression. And then he has the 59-6, and this is the channel of mating, or it's the in the basis terms, it's like sexuality and procreation. Like 59 is like the sperm is like, I'm gonna get in there and penetrate that egg cell, and the six is like the egg. And it's like, oh, you really think so? You really think you're gonna get through this barrier? You gotta try a little harder, wiggle around a little bit more if you think you're gonna fertilize this egg. But the two of them together, they know exactly how to come together to bring, to make a very fruitful, cultivate a very fruitful union where I will do everything I can in my power to protect you. And I'm going to set really healthy boundaries that keep us safe. And I'm going to take good care of you. I'm going to love you so deeply. Um, there's so much more to talk about in this man's chart. I'll end with this because I don't want to overlook this. So, um, first of all, that left angle cross of alignment, which I mentioned is these four boxes at the top combined. The left angle is something that tells us Cory Booker is on a mission in life that is very much um, to be a catalyst for change and for on behalf of it for it's going to happen through other people. Like his expansion and his purpose in life is going to be attained through the relationships that he builds and the um, communities that he engages in and the interactions that he has with other people. All of those things that I was talking about, the nourishment and care, the Mother Teresa stuff, the game player, bring on the challenge, the retreat and privacy, this contemplative holding the pain and suffering, and the wanting to be a part of something important. All of those kind of blending together as this life purpose, as long and they can be achieved at their highest expression as long as he is not keeping it to himself and that he is engaging with interactions with other people. Um, so that's an important piece here. And then also finally, I'll just mention this kind of briefly. In the G center, which we said before is all about that, I know who I am and I know where I'm going. This is me. I love me. 46 appears in his planetary placements 4 times. 46 is the gate of embodiment. It's the love of the body. It is the gate of determination. It is very much, um, I love the vessel that I have, this meat suit of mine. It is treated, these people who have this generally in the highest expression, they treat their body as a temple. They think of their instrument, the human meat suit, as just this like, oh my God, this is so cool that I get to have this body. I'm going to take the best care of my body and I'm going to put my body through so many extraordinary things because I can. It's this spiritual level appreciation for like the physical form, right? Like, I could jump out of an airplane. I could eat ice cream. This is amazing. It's so amazing because I think in the spirit realm, they don't have this physicality that we do here on Earth. And that spirits that are floating around out there as ethereal, just divine energy, they're looking at humans on Earth going like, they're really having a cool experience because they have a body and they have earth, they have grass that their bare feet can touch, and they have, you know, food they can taste and music they can listen to and play. You can hold a violin in your hands. It's a real deep appreciation for the physical experience. And I want you to know he has this 4 times in his chart. That's a lot of embodiment. And so when we look at someone who runs into a burning building. Oh my God, I have emotional authority, just so you know. Someone who runs into a burning building and then someone who can stand and hold the Senate floor for 25 hours on behalf of his community and for taking a stand to be on the right side of history. It's just chef's kiss. Like, thank you, Senator Booker. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, should I edit this out? I think I'm not going to because I don't have the bandwidth to do that. But thank you, Senator Booker. Sorry that I get emotional. This is who I am. Um, may we all take a lesson in what it means to step into alignment and use our gifts to the highest expression so that we may step into our fullest potential. Thank you, everybody. If you are interested in having a reading of yourself and having me cry about your extraordinary powers, we can meet privately for a one-on-one consult or reading. And also, if you would like to just have a printout of a booklet, I do have customized reports completely built and ready for you to download and share for not share, to download and read and keep with you forever and refer back to for as many years as you need to. Because I know my clients really do refer back to these reports that I give them for many years to come, and they're constantly taking notes because it's a process. It's a process of learning your gifts and learning what you need to unlearn of maybe the lower vibrational frequencies that come with each one of these traits and what you can like stop doing and let go of and to lean into the higher expression and be like Cory Booker. So if you would like to explore my variety of customized reports, there's one that's completely just about all of your gates, all of your defined gates, all those numbers in your chart. You can find out what every single one of them means. There's one that's all about the energy centers in your body and which ones are defined and undefined and how they work inside of you, with lots of other cool data points because they're really fun infographics, collection of infographics. And it's a workbook, so I've included some deconditioning exercises and journal questions that you can work through with each, like take one energy center at a time, work on it for a couple weeks, come back to it over time. You can do it in any order you want, pick any shape you want to start with. I also have a variety of reports specific to children. So if you're past like just wanting to uh, know what your gates are, but you really wouldn't need to apply this stuff to your child to solve a problem that you're having at your house, like with a power struggle. There's a variety of reports to speak to that as well. How to get along with your child better, how to solve a communication breakdown. Or you can reach out to me because I do parent coaching. So thank you again for being here, and just look at your own chart and see if you have any other traits that Senator Booker has, and if you have any similarities, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or find me on my website. It's at JanineEllsworth.com. So thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate you being here. Have a blessed, wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.